Yeah, so welcome everyone. Tonight, we're continuing our New Year Revolution content. So I said in the email we'd be covering our 9-step process for successful goal keeping, as we've been calling it here, not just goal setting. Get that written correctly. So goal keeping, and we've covered that the last three calls really, looking at top reasons for New Year resolution failures last time and applying our George Costanza tool, or doing the opposite of those things. The different psychologies for goal setting, planning, and keeping the time before that, and how you can use the model of the world as a design and installation exercise and document for 2021. It's not just a new year on the calendar. Marks a transition for an upgrade, required upgrade to the mental operating system. And reality is you don't have to do this just once a year. You can do it as frequently as you want. But New Year's are always that kind of time where people like to set new goals, reevaluate. So that's why we're in this content chunk for December. And tonight and the next 2 nights, we'll be covering the 9 steps. And we've been doing this content for years. I personally do these 9 steps every year at the end. I just find it a really fun way to go about doing my year-end review, goal setting, planning, keeping process for the new year. So I hope you really enjoy it as well. You can actually find this on the member site. So if you want to go download the worksheet that I'm going to be going through tonight and next week's call for the 9 steps, just go to, in the member site, go to courses, and then you'll find the New Year Revolution course, and it's sitting there in one of the lessons for the 9-step worksheet. And tonight, I'm just going to be covering the main elements that I really want you to keep in mind and know as you go through this process. Not going to do the full, what used to be almost 4-hour seminar on this content. I've been really actually chunking this out into our 4 weekly calls for this month, or 5 actually. But I want you to do this on your own time. I want you to spend some great time with yourself, with your own music. So to put some great music on, get into a great headspace, energy, really spend some great time with this, because these are important things. These are life-changing steps, exercises that you're going to be doing here. And so let's start with step 1. Get clear. So big point here is leaders see things as they are, not worse or better than they are. I've said it almost every call, I think, but we're all about consciousness here. All about consciousness. This is not just about positive thinking. I mean, it is, but it's looking at both the half full side of the glass and the half empty, and making decisions from there. Just seeing things as they are, being conscious, is going to allow you to make even better decisions, even better choices for what you want to set as your 2020 goals, what changes you want to make this year and beyond. So while you're doing this process, really keep that in mind, and I want you to answer these 4 things. What you love, what you hate, what challenged you, and what gifts and lessons you found this year. Now, that's you might find a lot for maybe the last 3 items for this year, but this is where we really get to apply our association and dissociation tool. So what most people tend to do in any sort of review process is, maybe spend 3 minutes on the positive, and if we're spending an hour on this, 57 minutes on the negative. That's not what we want to do. Really spending more time on the positive, to flip-flop these even, associate to the things that were awesome, the things that are great, take a dissociated look and not getting so worked up or, upset or, swayed as much by the things that challenged you or that you hated, but equally, again, seeing the glass as it is, seeing both sides, and then choosing the meaning, applying our I choose meaning tool. For, again, what meanings you want to create out of the data points of the year, what this year meant to you. But this is a great review process, and this is actually basically the Kanai tool, which feels like we recently covered that. But it's an acronym for constant and never-ending improvement. It's actually a Tony Robbins tool, but it follows the same kind of process of what's awesome, what could be better, or what could be even better, implying that everything you're already doing is the upgraded form, as good as you can with the tools that you have, with the software that you currently are operating with. And then we re-anchor what's awesome. So we're actively energizing, associating to what's going really well. Again, to not only get clear, but have fun with this, to get inspired, to feel good about this process versus, for most, I'd imagine this, especially this year, isn't going to be a very enjoyable process, looking at, what didn't happen and what got screwed up this year. You have the tools, you have the consciousness to play a new song on the radio, reactivate, reassociate to what's going well and what's going to be even better for 2021. So that's step one, getting clear. Now, once we've done this great review process, once we've done the great Kanai process for 2020, we want to get certain, and this is getting certain about your success, what you are capable of, your potentiality, getting certain that what you're going to design and create for yourself and set as your 2021 goals is going to happen because you've had success in the past. You've had and done great things in your past, and we want to reconnect to that. We want to remember that. We want to use and even upgrade and enhance some of those strategies that we've used success for in the past. But most remember our failures and apply those strategies to the present success, and counterintuitively will apply it even in the most challenging times. We've talked and talked and talked and looked at, don't spill as a strategy, these away patterns, avoiding failure being a primary strategy for success, when in reality, it's enhancing the probability that those unwanted things are going to happen. But when we sit down, and we talked about this in the goal planning setting content, where most will plan for contingencies. They'll think about, well, I've had that divorce, or I've had that failed business, or I've had that didn't work for my health when I tried that. And we're looking at all the things that went wrong, and then planning for that, using those as our strategies. Well, don't do that versus, looking at the wisdom, looking at the lessons, looking at what you got out of those, don't spill moments, those failures, those broken legs, continuing to enhance your strength that you get from these, these failures, these falls, these, constantly and never ending movement forward, and being energized by that, being inspired by that, remembering that you do have the strength from the broken legs, you do have the lessons and wisdom. And so what I want you to do in this step is, what was once a dream? What did you think was impossible, and how did you do it? What were the steps? What were the emotions? What did you think? What were the sentences? The habitual sentences that were running. What was the software that you did use that was successful, and how can we enhance it? Again, getting certain on the fact that you have done great things. You have done things that you thought were impossible at one time. And so to get even more inspired, to feel even better about your capabilities to do even more great things in 2021, this step is absolutely crucial, to pair with step one. After you've gotten clear, after you've looked at the year for what it was, you're getting certain on your already, greatness and potentiality, that we're going to continue to improve moving into next year. So that's getting certain. Now, step three, this really sets you up for getting excited, finding, reclaiming, reconnecting to the passion, the drive. This 4-year-old you that had all these dreams, that every man and woman was the Superman and Superwoman. You wanted to be the astronaut, or whatever that dream was. Reconnecting to this, and rebuilding even more this passion and drive for what you're now going to write down as to your 2021 goals, and even further beyond, because this step is all about consciously activating your emotional intensity, reconnecting to your emotional matrix, and you're going to get crazy about everything that you want. And I don't care if this is 20 years into the future. Just write until you can't write anymore, until you're going to put, in the seminar setting, we put up to 10 minutes to do this step alone. You're going to write everything that comes to mind, no matter what it is. Doesn't matter the time frame. Everything that you once wanted, and think of everything. What do you want for your love? What do you want for for your business, your money? What do you want for health? Where do you want to live? How do you want to retire? Is retirement even a thing for you? And what do you want? What would make life and reality special to you? And what about your legacy? So again, just getting crazy about all the things that you've thought about, all the past years, everything moving forward. Again, not associating to maybe some of the limitations that might be in place, but disassociating to that. Not even, if there were no worries, if money wasn't an issue, if no limitations, perceived limitations that exist for you today were in place, what would you want? And then you're going to write next to those things, 1 year, 2 to 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years. And what to keep in mind here, again, what we mentioned last time, the 1 year, 5 year quote, which is people overestimate what they can do in 5 years, overestimate what they can do in 1 year, underestimate what they can do in 5 years. So keeping that in mind as you look at all of these things that you write down, now applying a time component, you can see we are starting to add in a smart element to this process. But again, after doing this, if you do this right and you're putting on your favorite music, you're really connecting emotionally, you're getting goosebumps, you should feel awesome after doing just these 3 steps alone. Step 4, you're going to get focused. So now, again, keeping in mind that quote, you're circling the top 5 that you want to do this year. You know, what would juice you to jump out of bed every morning, energized, ready to go, you know, go to bed exhausted because you've taken massive action, but victorious, and you know, maybe you didn't get everything on your to-do list, but it was even more than you know, we're doing this year, and you're just taking massive action towards your goal. What would inspire you to do that? What would be those 5 things? What's the lighter fluid that's going to fuel your action? So you're going to circle those things. And the last one I want to cover tonight, because this is going to be your homework, and I really want you to spend some great time on this. You know, taking the holiday season, taking maybe some off time, taking this weekend between now and next Tuesday. This is so vital. Maybe the most important step in these 9 here is getting committed, but you're gonna write down, why must you do this? Why? I said last time, this was one of our 10 things. People connect more to the hows than they do the why. The hows always reveal themselves when the why is powerful. The why, you'll find the hows, you'll find the ways to do it if your determination, your drive, your reasons for doing these things are very clear. So you're gonna write that down. You're gonna go find someone, could be your spouse, could be a friend, and you're gonna tell them your why. And I really ask them, no, tell me, I want your honest feedback here. What's your feedback on this? Do you feel it? Is this powerful? Does this give you goosebumps? I want to know. Do you feel, you know, the power, and do you feel like this is a powerful enough why for me, and this is going to fuel me? What do you think? And if you're looking for someone, I'll find you an accountability buddy. We've got our new mastermind program coming up first week of January. You get an accountability buddy. You can share your why with them, but ask their feedback. Or record yourself, better yet. Record your I have a dream speech, record your why, and ask them, does it give you goose pimples? So that's the first 5 steps. I'm gonna stop it there for the content tonight, but this is your homework. You got a lot of great work to do here with just these 5 steps. Getting excited, getting clear, getting committed with your why. And man, I would love to, for next Tuesday, hear a why from all of you.